Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Good afternoon and welcome to Your Stocks. I'm Sumaira Abdi and joining me is Nigel D'Souza. Hi Nigel, good afternoon. And as we speak, it looks like that brief respite that the market was having seems to have been lost now. So once again, the indices are moving back towards the red line. The mid-cap index is once again seeing a cut of about 1%. So just as we thought that there could be some bit of a bounce, it now looks like even that little bit has got sold in.
Yeah, the little has got sold into, Sumaira, but I'll keep an eye out on the Nifty Bank because today is the expiry day. Remember, normally you have the weekly expiry that takes place on a Thursday. Tomorrow, lucky us, we have got a holiday. So we'll have to keep an eye out on the Nifty Bank because instead of tomorrow, today is when the Nifty Bank weekly expiry will take place. The index is down close to around 50 points. At the start of the trading session, it was doing a relative outperformance. Now it's doing a little bit of an underperformance, so keep an eye out on that one. It's likely to swing around for the bulls. 11,250, 11,220. Those are very, very important support levels. If that breaks, we could go sliding down easily towards maybe that 11,000, 11,100 odd mark. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that front very, very closely. But for the time being, any kind of bounce is being sold into. So keep an eye out on that front and also keep an eye out on the rupee because the rupee as well has been moving around. Yesterday it ended virtually at around that 73 odd mark. Today there was some strength that we saw intraday, but that as well. The dollar strength is very, very, is too good really for the rupee. And that's why the rupee currently at around 72.7. We'll talk about that. We'll get to answering all your queries. First up, running you through all the top stories. The rupee recovers from the record lows hit yesterday, pulls up key indices on the Lal Street. The market is, however, off the day's high. The mid-cap index and the Nifty Bank, they lag today.
Expect the government to announce a next step of measures very soon. That's the word coming in from the DEA secretary talking about import curbs, SC Gargat. The government will announce a list of non-essential items for import curbs imminently.
And asset management companies like Reliance Nippon and HDFC AMC, they reel under selling pressure after SEBI announces a cut in the total expense ratio for mutual funds. CLSA says that the cut could lead to a 15 to 25 basis points reduction in equity fees.
Sugar stocks are in focus on the back of a proposed subsidy on exports. The food minister says that the cabinet will discuss sugar export subsidy proposal next week. Well, those are all our top stories. Let's get started with your stocks. We have our two experts, G Chokkalingam of Economics Research and Advisory and Rajat Bose, who joins in to answer the technicals. So, gentlemen, good afternoon to both of you. Thanks very much for being with us. Our first query comes in from Rupali Jha, who writes to us from Kolkata. She has 100 shares in Ashok Leyland, which she has bought at 119 rupees. She's a long-term investor and wants to know what she should do at the moment. So making just a tad bit of money actually at the moment. It looks like she's perhaps bought it just a short while back. Mr. Chokkalingam, what would you say? The CV cycle is looking good. The management also very, very optimistic on FY19. A good bet for a long-term investor?
No, as you rightly said, it is cyclical, commercial vehicles. If you look at last 2 decades, once in 3 to 4, 5 years, it goes through a severe cyclical downturn. And having seen the massive rally in the stock price in the last 3, 4 years, now trading at around more than 21, 22 times 1 year forward earning, rather I would suggest to sell if stock improves even 5% from current level.
Okay, all right. So that's the view coming in on Ashok Leyland. Let's move on. I think we have another query that's already come in. We have Mr. Ramachandra, who calls us from Bengaluru with a query. Hi, sir.
Hello.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. How can we help you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I got.
Go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
I got 105 shares of ICICI Lombard through IPO, recent concluded IPO. So now the current market rate is 864. What can I do now, whether to sell or to hold?
Okay, you're making good money, but you want to know what's the call on the stock going ahead. All right, let's get you a fundamental as well as a technical view. Then, Rajat, coming across to you first. What's your view on the stock?
See, I would say that it would be better for him to actually book his profits. My chart reading tells me that probably he's going to get it around 800 once again, or even lower. So it would be better if he books his profit now and re-enters at lower levels.
Mr. Chokkalingam, your quick take, sir?
Yeah, I would also agree with him. He can sell it. I'm just saying if 5% upside is there, one can sell, because last 2-3 days we have seen mid-sized companies are getting a lot of beating in the market. So if it rises around 5%, he can sell because it trades at around 7 times book value. Even HDFC banks trades at a much lower level. But I see a lot of competition coming in insurance business, and this valuation is not sustainable.
All right, up next, we have a query coming in from Miss H.S. Negi, who writes to us from Uttarakhand. She says she holds over 1,100 shares of Dhampur Sugar. She bought it at 112 rupees for the last 15 months. She's a long-term investor and wants to know what to do. So sugar stocks, actually, the last few days, I mean, they've really taken off. Every single stock is seeing, 30, 40, 50% in terms of a gain in the last few days or week. Today, of course, there was news that the cabinet would take up the issue of export subsidy. That has now been deferred. So the sugar stocks have climbed down a little bit. But nevertheless, let's find out what's the outlook for Dhampur Sugar. Rajat, she's making quite a bit of money over here, and I suspect much of it is, of very, very recent past. Would you advise that she take at least some money off the table, given the volatile nature of sugar stocks?
I would tend to think so, precisely for the reason that sugar stocks have rallied in the recent past, or let's say last 1 week or so, and that was quite a substantial rally. Otherwise, it was pretty much flat. And Dhampur has actually left a gap that has not been filled, gap slightly lower, close to his buying price. So suppose if he were to book his profits here and re-enters at lower levels, that would be better. But this is the stock to be in if you at all once again jump into any sugar stock, because Dhampur gives the best rallies. But one thing, it doesn't really pay to be a long-term investor in a cyclical commodity stock, because they have their cycles, and it is better to book when you are getting some profits.
Okay, all right. So that's the view that's coming in on some sugar stocks. Rajat believes no harm in booking some profits on some of those stocks. By the way, some of these Anil Ambani Group stocks, they're taking a bit of a whack. Reliance Infra, now that's down close to around 9%. So pull up the intraday chart. You'll see Reliance Cap as well is now down close to around 6.5%. Those stocks are moving lower in the last few minutes. Let's do one thing. We'll slip into a short break, come back, continue answering all your questions, and also keep an eye out on the markets. Stay with us. Okay, the markets have taken a leg down now. They've moved to the low point of the day. Now we're down close to around 20 points approximately. We're at the very, very crucial mark that we've been talking about, 11,250. We're at around 11,259. So in the last few minutes, in fact, there has been some selling on Lupin. You pull up the intraday chart, the stock is down close to around 2% odd. Yes Bank as well. Yesterday we saw some buying in an otherwise wobbly market. That stock is coming for some profit booking as well. And the banking stocks on the whole, they are seeing some selling as they play out expiry, as we were telling you a little earlier. Even Tata Steel from the top has seen some profit booking. So keep an eye out on that one. But I think the reason that the markets are moved lower has to be a heavyweight stock that's moved lower. And Reliance Industries is now down close to around 1%. I think half of that has come in the last 10 minutes or so. So Reliance Industries would be the big boy that's moved to the low point of the day. And that's what's dragging the index lower. Even Axis Bank is moving lower. Keep an eye out. We're very, very close. 11,250 on the Nifty is the mark that we're looking at. 11,250, 11,220 odd. That range on a closing basis, the bulls will like to defend, like we saw in the last week as well. In the meanwhile, let's pull in a query. We have Mr. Ramanathan, who calls us from Tamil Nadu. He has investments, I believe, in Asian Paints. Hi, sir. Good afternoon. How can we help you? What's your query?
Good afternoon, sir. I am holding Asian Paints.
Okay.
Okay, but due to the increase in price of crude, shall I hold it or sell it on a rally?
Okay, all right. So you're making a small loss.
I'm holding it.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm holding it. Shall I? I don't know about the crude price, when it will stop.
True.
Rising prices.
True.
Shall I hold or sell it early?
True. So, Mr.
Okay.
Ramanathan, we get your query that you're holding the stock, but you're a little worried because crude prices are moving higher, and a lot of the input cost for a paint company is based on the crude move. So that's why you're a little bit worried. Just a quick question, sir. If the call is to hold it for a longer duration, do you have the holding capacity to hold it for 1 year, 2 years? Okay, you have that capacity.
Yes.
Right. Mr. Chokkalingam,
I can hold it.
Sir, coming across to you, Mr. Chokkalingam, sir, what's your take? Asian Paints, doesn't have that kind of cushion in terms of valuations, because on a PE basis it's trading quite expensive. But best in pedigree, best in class, what would your advice be? Has the investor caught it at the higher end of the range? Would you advise him to book some losses? Or do you think hold in there, hold it for the long duration, you will make money, people need to keep painting their houses, they have a good market share as well, so you'll make money? Your take?
Yeah, I think his entry price was wrong, but if he's willing to wait for 2-3 years, he can definitely hold, because Asian Paint has increased the capacity and it has been performing very well, even in the adverse condition. But as you rightly said, just now the Brent oil has crossed even $79, and rupee also going down, so which is terribly negative for this company. And as you said, it's trading at around 50 PE on 1 year forward earning, which is not cheap. So if he can take a little risk of 5-10% and he's a long-term investor, then he can hold it. Otherwise, when he recovers his cost, he can sell it off.
All right, next caller is through to us as well. Mr. Kanthaswamy Pillai is on the line with us from Chennai. Hi, sir. How can we help you?
Hello.
Good afternoon,
Hello,
sir.
I am Kanthaswamy Pillai.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I think you'll have to turn down the television in your background.
All right. Okay. I am holding 13,000 shares of Lombard Lab from September 2017. Whether I can hold or sell the shares.
Okay, and you have a portfolio, sir, of other stocks?
Other so many stocks are available. Ashok, Leyland, and Titan shares.
Okay, so this is one of your many investments.
This is one of the shares I am holding from the September 2017. But there is no improvement in these stocks. That's why I want to query with your better idea with you.
Okay, so clearly you have a lot of investments in equity, but this one seems to be the one that's troubling you. Rajat, Morpen Labs, it looks like it's just been, heading lower. He's making quite a bit of a loss in it. Any other stocks that he could look at, moving his investment to?
I would say my choice is Lupin. Lupin, Dr. Reddy, Sun Pharma, even for that matter, Aurobindo, these kind of counters would do well among the multinationals. If he has the heart to buy Sanofi, in my view, that's a very good stock for the longer term. So, but not Morpen. Morpen is one of the few stocks that has not participated in the pharma rally at all. Other pharma stocks are rallying and this is falling. So he should better switch to one of those stronger stocks in pharma space, even if he had to book losses.
Okay, all right. So that's the call on Morpen, but we have to keep an eye out on the markets. Now that's calling for our attention. We have broken the 11,250 odd mark. So just focus on the market right now. Get the intraday chart of the Nifty up for you on the screen. The mid-cap index is now down more than 200 points. And what we have seen is we have seen selling on Lupin. That's coming for a knock. Titan has moved to the low point of the day. Intraday, we saw a recovery. It was down more than 3% at the start of trade after CLSA had cut its target price by closer on 300 rupees odd. Now, that stock as well has come off the high point of the day. You have ITC. That's the big one in there, and that's taken a leg down. Remember, ITC has more than 5% weight on the index itself. When ITC takes a leg down, that drags the Nifty lower as well. And because of the fall that we have seen in ITC, just a short while back, we saw a bit of a leg down in terms of Reliance Industries as well. That's what's putting pressure on the index. I think there is some selling on the pharma stocks. Cipla, Lupin, Dr. Reddy's. Maybe you can just pull up the pharma index, and that'll tell us the picture, the kind of selling that we've seen in the last few minutes. And that's what's led the Nifty to now move to around 11,240. So we're at those crucial levels from where the bulls did fight back last time around. This time it's looking quite difficult actually, because the Nifty Bank is down 100 points, and now it's non-banking names as well that are seeing some selling. ITC is the notable one, that's a move lower. Adani Ports as well, not a big weight on the index, but that as well has moved lower. ITC and Reliance Industries, they move lower. That's the reason why, in fact, the index has moved lower. And now take a look at the breadth of the market. We started off with a lot more stocks in the green than the red. Now they've crisscrossed. Now we have 2 declines for every 1 advance. So I think we should get that one as well up for you on the screen. And not just that, take a look at the mid-cap index as well. Oracle Financial, that stock has been moving. In the last couple of days, volumes were higher. A lot of large trades as well did get interchange out there. But that's seen some selling. Biocon as well has moved lower. So I think we should get the intraday chart as well. The stock has been moving around. The volume's high on that one as well. So keep an eye out on some of these mid-cap names. Biocon, that's a pharma play. That's coming for selling. Mindtree, that's another dollar rupee play that we were looking at. That as well has come in for some profit bookings. So some of these stocks that did well in the past, suddenly we're seeing some selling pressure. Keep an eye out on the mid-cap space. The Nifty for the time being has broken 11,250. Slip into a break, come back, keep an eye out on the markets, also answering all your queries. Stay with us.